Now, it's hard enough to find the perfect tight end to meet your roster requirements, especially when you miss out on some of the big names. So, today I'm helping you to navigate through those later rounds where it gets real scary for the perfect tight end that can help your rosters in 2024. Let's start off hot. I'm going to hit you with a rookie right now that's going in the 13th round. Ben Sinnott for the Commanders. This dude is the backup to Zach Ertz. Yes, the Zach Ertz signing does not stop me from targeting him in those later rounds. This is Kansas State's probably best tight end in their entire school history. This dude is a productive, efficient tight end that can go out there and make the big plays. Now, he did transition from a fullback to a tight end. He was buried on the depth charts as a fullback, but he has some of those running back qualities that can transition very nicely to a tight end where broken tackles, yards after the catch become a great thing. This dude also can line up outside. He may not be able to beat you with his speed, but he has the contested catch. The catch radius is unlimited with him. This dude is a big playmaker in the Cliff Kingsbury offense, where we've seen in the past before where Cliff Kingsbury has been able to utilize a tight end like Trey McBride and really bring out those flashes. Now, Zach Ertz is there, but this dude is an aging tight end right now. He's at the career low of his yards per route, showing that he still can't go out there and make things happen. So he is a guy there that I believe is going to be able to coach up the younger guys in that system to kind of fast track them. So Ben Sinnott can be a guy that can make some actual plays this season. And I think there is opportunity. Like I said, he's a rookie. This might be a great take for Dynasty, but in best ball leagues, I'm going to be taking my shot because I know you remember those times where we saw Trey McBride make those flashes the last couple of seasons while still coexisting with a Zach Ertz. Ben Sinnott is a complete playmaker, a guy that is going to be able to contribute big on this Commanders offense, who's honestly looking for a second option. Jahan Dotson's a hot buzzing name right now, but he has not been great for fantasy. He has not been great for real life football at all. A lot of people giving him slack for the QB play, which I will do that, but I'm telling you now, that second option at offense after Terry McLaurin is up for grabs, and Ben Sinnott in that tight end position can be that guy to step up. We look at Trey McBride, how soon that torch was passed on Dallas Goedert with Zach Ertz, et cetera, et cetera. Zach Ertz might just be there to install the offense, and he might be there to pass the torch a lot sooner than expected. I cannot quit Cole Kmet. I do not care what anybody says, but at tight end 16, I am completely buying. He is still a talented and productive tight end in a offense where he was lacking the QB play, the coaching staff, play callers, whatever you want to call it. The situation just was not at the best potential for Cole Kmet, but he still managed to be mentioned with the top tier guys when it comes to yards per route, when it comes to touchdowns. He has the third most touchdowns in the last two seasons among tight ends. This is up there with guys like Travis Kelce and Sam Laporta. These are the things where you're looking at where you're like, oh man, this guy can be very productive in the red zone. He could be a great weapon for Caleb Williams. And I also want to mention there is a lot of mouths to feed. There's a lot of new shiny toys here, but not all of them can be winners. Went all the way down to DeAndre Swift, all the way up to Keenan Allen and DJ Moore. There is no clear option of who's the number one, and there is no clear option who the number two is. It could be Roma Dunze that ends up the number two. DJ Moore is the one. But that third option, I think that's where Cole Kmet can slip in and contribute huge to the red zone, to the overall production of this offense. So I think Cole Kmet at tight end 16, this dude is still above the league average when it comes to yards per route, when it comes to targets per route, meaning he can still go out there and create separation and make the plays after the catch. Cole Kmet should definitely be a target for you guys in those later rounds. Tight end 16 right now. This is basically free money here for you in redraft and best ball leagues. Now, Jonnu Smith at tight end 26 is very interesting to me, man, because he just completed the Infinity Speed Gauntlet for Mike McDaniel of all the stones collected of having speed at every offensive skill position. It's insane. Jonnu Smith is probably going to be utilized more so a little bit of percentage, a little taste of what we saw Arthur Smith was able to bring out of him last year with the Falcons, where he's still able to go out there and be very productive as a route runner, a guy that can make big plays after the catch. The speed is there. The dude is part of that group of the Tyreek Hills, the Waddles, Devon Achans, Raheem Mostert when it comes to speed. This dude has a all-star track team right now on offense. And at tight end 26, I think Mike McDaniels finally gets his tight end that he can utilize as a athletic tight end, a guy that can catch screens, who can make big plays and make some rushing attempts in the red zone, maybe, because we've seen Jonnu Smith line up out of the backfield back even when he was with the Patriots. Now, I look at Jonnu Smith at tight end 26. He'll obviously be a tight end too, but you cannot lose getting a guy who had as low as maybe 6 fantasy points. But then there's the weeks where he had 15 fantasy points, 21 fantasy points against the Vikings. Obviously, he still has big playability, and he's going there as the starting tight end just based on what he was able to put on film last season. Go ahead and take those shots in those later rounds for Jonnu Smith. Now, Jake Ferguson is interesting to me. He's going in the 8th round. Now, you're probably wondering, like, this isn't really the late round, but this is kind of late to me when it comes to a guy like Jake Ferguson on a very high power, a pass volume offense where you're looking at Jake Ferguson as going in the 8th round compared to where the tight end 8 is at. He's going about almost 2 rounds, Evan Ingram above Jake Ferguson, who's going in the 8th round. So I look at this as kind of late value here for him because you're going to get a guy who led all tight ends, by the way, in red zone targets. So the touchdown upside is there. The Cowboys weren't really effective or going out there and grabbing a second or third option in this offense when it comes to the wide receiver corps. When you're looking at Brandon Cooks, he's been having his moments. He has his ups and downs, but he hasn't been as consistent as before in the past. And you look at that third option is definitely up for grabs in that offense. I don't see Zeke being still involved as much as he was in the passing game in the past, but he's still up there on the table as a candidate to be a third option. But Jake Ferguson, man, was still able to go out there and have 23 red zone targets. I'm here just for the volume. He's not a very, efficient tight end and the route running and all that other things, but the pass volume here is real. The target share is real. This is a guy that I'd rather have on my roster as a snag in the 8th round so I can just get the tight end position out of the way so I could just start building and stacking at my other roster positions there as well. Listen, I'll take Hunter Henry at tight end 19, which is like the 14th round right now on Underdog Fantasy ADPs. You're looking at a guy right now that could possibly be the top 2 option in this offense with a rookie quarterback and a young receiver talent with Kendrick Bourne, who's constantly battling injuries, who's actually haven't been able to reach his full potential in this offense. So it's a new scheme, new offensive coordinator. Alex Pelt is going over there helping out the Patriots, being able to jumpstart this offense really, where you're looking at the tight end situation where it's Austin Hooper and Hunter Henry. Obviously, Austin Hooper having the familiarity with this Alex Van Pelt offense, being that they work together in Cleveland with David Njoku running that 1-2 punch. Now, we're overall looking at this offense. It's a mess. This offense looks like it needs a veteran touch. Obviously, they're going to have all these young guys like Javon Baker, Jalen Polk, and you have Drake May there. Also, you have these guys that are just rookies. They haven't even been able to really fully adjust to the NFL right now, and it's June right now. So you got to figure out who's can possibly be the highest ceiling here for a top 2 option when it comes to this target share in this offense. And I see Hunter Henry being mentioned between either 1 or 2. There is a realistic situation where he could be leading this team in targets. He has 21 touchdowns since 2020, so we know how big of a red zone threat he can be. Then those 21 touchdowns among tight ends ranks 5th. So he's still out there going in the trenches, doing what he can and pass blocking. So I think the most we have to pay attention to is his snap share. But in the 14th round at tight end 19, I'm taking all gamble shots here because, again, it's hard to hit on some of these late round tight ends, especially when you miss out on those bigger names in those early rounds. If you're uncomfortable throwing out the full investment on a Mark Andrews or a Travis Kelce or Sam Laporta, et cetera, or you're still having some questions with some guys like TJ Hawkinson returning back from injury. We don't know where he's going to be at. These are the guys that you want to take in those later rounds, like Hunter Henry, who has a solid target share on the table for him. The opportunity is there for him to seize. So I think you need to be looking at him as a serious option in those later rounds. So that wraps up another great episode of RotoBaller Fantasy Sports YouTube channel. Please make sure you guys like and subscribe, and please head over to the website and sign up today, and you can get 10% discount on a subscription when you use promo code FIRE. So please make sure you guys follow me at Real Deal Fantasy on all social media platforms. Until next time.